health this morning. We got the doctor coming. Dr. Darla is coming at 7:15, and I'm just coming right down to the farm. We've got off-sync shots to give. About 20. I think it's about 20 cows to breed, and then we got to get cows separated for Darla so they're ready when she gets here. So kind of a busy morning. It's cold again. I don't know. It's probably, I'd say, a good 20 below wind chill. I'll try to get some footage this morning so you guys can see what herd health is all about. Basically, it's just doing a lot of pregnancy checking on the cows, and then that way you got all the information. You know when you need to dry the cow up so she can have a rest and be ready to milk the next year. So a lot of other things. She's gonna look at calves. Any cows that aren't feeling good, she'll look at. Just a lot of anything to do with the health of the animal that we normally don't do. Even if we do it, a lot of times I have her look at also. Just because she's knows a lot more than I do. So. Okay, so I'm getting everything ready to give shots for the off-sync, double off-sync. Got my list here. Use a new needle on every cow. You don't want to transmit any diseases that you can transmit through blood or tissue. Always take an extra pen. I put one in my ear and one in the pouch. Coffee. Okay. I believe we're ready. I've got pens 2 and 3 done. Now we need 1 and 4. 1 and 4 are in the other barn. So I'm gonna go lock those up. We don't like to just lock them all at once. It's too hard on the cow. So like this morning, pen 3, right, this third column, we had them locked for breeding and for the shots. And then we let them loose. As soon as we were done with them, they're gonna go get milked, and then we'll lock them after they get milked for herd health. Pen 2 is actually locked now. That's the first pen we're going to start with at herd health. And then I'm going to go lock pen 1 and 4. I didn't lock them earlier because it's just too hard on them being locked that long. So I'll go do that. And coffee. By leaving the cows locked too long, I'm talking about like the time budget of a cow. So a cow routinely lays down for approximately 12 hours a day. And she needs so many hours to eat and then so many to socialize. Well, if you start locking them up for too long, you interrupt their daily routine and it throws them off. You're just squeezing through a gate. Go through there. So, and then standing too long in the headlocks can cause lameness issues, sole fractures and stuff on the feet, and it's just not a good deal to keep cows locked in the headlocks. Just lock them up when you need to do something with them and then let them loose. So this is our first freestyle barn we had. We call it the old barn. This is pen 1 right here. Gonna go ahead and lock them. And actually, pen 1 is probably the pen we'll start with on herd health. There's only a handful. Well, there's 4 cows in pen 1 to check, so probably just start here. That way they can get let loose. These are the fresh. Any fresher cows, when fresh I mean just had a calf, and then they stay in here for 30 days or less, usually about 3 weeks, until they go to a different pen. But fresh cows are under the most stress, so we try to keep less cows in this pen and more feed space, so they got more room to per cow, more square feet per cow. And it's really close to the parlor. The parlor is right on the end of pen 1. And now this is pen 4. I'm gonna lock this pen 2. Here is Steve and my mom, and this is Darla. She's a veterinarian, and we are ready to start her health. So this is kind of our crew, and we're gonna get going on it. We got 4 cows here in pen 1.
25.79, recheck, bred 73 days.
She's pregnant.
Then 25.81 is down.
She's pregnant?
Yeah.
25.81. We got 5.38.
She's pregnant.
47.
It's cow number 247.
Recheck.
She's pregnant.
I gotta check the one.
And just 299. 299, Steve. We need her.
Recheck,
Yep.
Darla.
The reason we want to get the cows pregnant is because if they don't get pregnant, then they don't come back up in milk. So they give the most amount of milk after they have a calf, and then you should have them pregnant and calving back in about within 14 months would be the goal, because then you give them a 2-month break in the dry period, and then they're ready after they have the calf to start milking again. So we need to know if they're pregnant or not, so we know when to dry them up. Okay, so now we're preg checking all the heifers outside.
At negative 14 degrees.
What is it, Darla?
Negative 14 degrees.
Is that with the wind chill or without?
Without.
There's no wind chill.
Okay.
It's just cold. Yeah, this ain't gonna work.
You see how long the heifer's hair is just from being outside? Really?
We're not gonna
I
wait.
don't know, it's probably 2 inches. So like that. Keep them warm. They're not cold at all out here.
This one's open and the CL on the left.
So we have SCR collars on our everything to breed. It's the yellow collar hanging on them. And these transponders
I wondered if she was a sister.
right here. We've got a reader in the barn, and it measures the activity on them.
No sis, she's got a good
And then when the
CL on
activity
left.
goes up, it shows that they're in heat time to breed because they're more active. It's also got rumination. So when they chew their cud, the muscle right here behind the ear moves, right in here. And then the computer measures how many ruminations how many times they're ruminating during the day.
You're talking about the green ones?
Yeah.
That's 16.9.
Yeah, the green ones. Originally we bought some just green ones.
Pregnant.
And those are just for the heifers. Those just measure activity, because normally on the heifers you don't have an issue with rumination problems. And once they're pregnant, we take the collars off.
18, Cindy, 16, 18, recheck Darla. And 16, 25, and recheck.
So out here we only have 1 pen with headlocks. So what we do is we preg check a group of 9, 8 or 9, and then we let them loose into the next pen. And we haven't fed them yet, so we just kick up a little bit of feed and they're hungry. And then the rest of them are going to come up and get locked up. And then we can check those off. The pen back there, those are the ones we need. So now we're done with the cows. All we got left to do is ultrasound calf lungs. If we've had pneumonia in calves, certain ones, or if we're having problems with them, Darla ultrasounds their lungs to see if there's any scar tissue or adhesions or anything on them. So we're gonna go do that now. So we're going into the calf barn.
We're gonna check some calves.
Yeah. I didn't know you were in here, Darla.
Oh,
I
sorry.
thought you were still cleaning up.
No, sorry.
No problem. Danny, he takes care of the calves in here. And his brother John. So John left, right, Dan?
Yep.
I didn't clean my clothes up, so I'm gonna stay out here and just video it.
Okay.
We try not to spread disease around the farm, so like Darla changed her clothes before she came in the calf farm, and we try not to have the people working with the, especially the sick cows that are working with the calves. So you want to explain what you're doing, Darla?
Yeah, so we're checking this calf for respiratory disease. She's been treated for a little bit, so we're gonna take a look with the ultrasound to see what her lungs look like, if there's a lot of damage or if they're looking pretty good, the antibiotics working. I always take your temperature first to see if they have a fever.
So we were having more respiratory issues. We built this calf barn and it was for baby calves, and the like they were supposed to, we feed with the milk bar feeders and we hang them on here, and we'd raise them in groups of 8, and then we started having problems indoors, so we went and got a bunch of calf hutches, and now we're starting them all outside.
I'm actually not treating.
And then
Oh, okay.
bringing them in here.
Look how
About 6 weeks old. You're not treating her, Dan?
not right now.
Okay. So I'm putting some alcohol to kind
I
of
got yet some fun work.
wet her hair down.
Dump hot water over and we'll get this thing off to clean the water.
On the waters?
Yeah,
They're freezing up?
I gotta clean it. Yes.
Oh,
the water
I see.
isn't froze.
No.
No.
How, do you know how warm it is in here today?
Under 20 yet.
Under 20, but it's how cold outside? 10 below, 15 below?
It was negative 15 when I was driving here.
Okay, so it's a lot better in here.
Yeah.
And it's a lot more comfortable for the people working in here. But the calves, they just do better outside, starting them at least.
So that side of her lungs looks okay. I don't see any active infection or damage.
How'd you pull that plastic off?
Well, we got half of it. Then I got enough tire stuff off the top.
Okay.
Then we tie it kind of on the loader. Then we pull. Then it comes. Good.
Yeah, her lungs look great.
That's good to know.
She'd be a...
Your time it was a 2.
She was?
Yeah.
Oh, good. So she went from a score of 2, which means that she had some damage, some active infection in her lungs I could see on the ultrasound, to basically a score of 0 where everything looks normal.
Now it's a 0.
Yep.
Which is good. At least it actually got better instead of getting worse. How did her lungs look?
Good. Real good.
Good.
So...
Good news today.
What's that?
Good news today.
Yes, good news. So the ones that we treat with some antibiotics, they're responding appropriately, and they look good.
Good deal.
Yeah.
So, Okay, we will see you later.
All right, yep. Bye.
So here are the individual calf hutches. There's about 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 of them, 11 or 12 of them along here. And these middle 3, these are our bull calves. The bull calves we put in here, and then we sell them when they're about 3 days old. They get sold for market, and then somebody else buys them and raises them. This calf right here we just born this morning, and it is really cozy in there. The sun's shining in, the hutches are facing the south, and he's pretty comfortable. Especially that straw. It's important to put straw in there that they can nestle into. So those 3 are all bulls, and then these 4 hutches here are all heifer calves. These 2, this hutch is empty yet. This is the next hutch that needs a calf put in it. You can see the flag here. We always hang the flag where the next calf goes. This one's got a calf in it. And the manure is blue. We give them a tube of paste. It's like a vaccine, Tri-Shield it's called. And we know if they had it or not because their manure, their first manure will be blue like that from that paste. It just keeps them healthier. They get it at birth. So then there's more calves, more single hutches down here, and like I say, they'll stay in these single hutches for about 2 weeks. There's a couple more rows of heifer calves under 2 weeks old, and then once they get to be 2 weeks old, we put them, when they're in the single hutches, they're actually drinking out of a pail. That's where they're drinking milk out of a pail. But then when they go over here to the super hutches, we feed them out of the milk bar feeders. Those gray feeders with like 5 nipples on the bottom we use on these calves. There's 4 calves in the group, and we like to use the 5 nipples because if you only have 4 nipples, it seems like one's always struggling to find a nipple. But if you have 5, they find them a lot easier. It's always good to have an extra one. Another group. See how the sun's shining in there? They're pretty comfortable. And then they always get warm water after they get their milk. They get about a gallon of milk twice a day, pasteurized milk. And then the next 2 hutches, the next 2 super hutches will get set up right back here. And that's what Danny's washing right now. Then going back into the milk room, I'll show you the feeders that we use out there. These are the milk bar feeders that we use for the super hutches. They just get hung over a gate, like the fencing out there. You just hang it on there like that, and the calves, they line up around it and they drink. Cleaning is very important in the calf barn. We use a chlorine dioxide cleaner. We spray everything down. All the feeding equipment gets washed every feeding, and then it gets chlorine dioxide after we wash it with a really good soap. And the pens and the whole calf barn gets sprayed down at least once a week with the chlorine dioxide. So it's about I think it's about 11:30, 11:10, and I'm gonna go home. Our bookkeeper's at my house doing some book work, and I'm gonna go home. She's got some questions for me, look that over, and then I'm gonna come back this afternoon and don't know for sure what we need to do yet, but I'm sure there'll be something. It doesn't feel as cold outside as they said it is. Maybe we're just getting used to it. But it seems like herd health is always on the coldest day of the week.